Day 2 of review, getting ready for test 6.1 to 6.4. Again, we split up this chapter into 2 parts because it is a long chapter. So we're going to test in the first 4 sections. Some of the review questions here are similar to ones we did yesterday, some are different. Again, the way to do this video is to pause each question, try it like you would on the test tomorrow, and then check your answers. All right, first one here, again, give it a shot, and then I'll go through the answer with you. All right, one thing to note about this is you can do these on your calculator. So I type the 4 through it, so I'm going to type 4 and then math, and then go to x root number 5, and then type negative 16. All right, it will tell us, oh, there's no real answers, right? And so in this chapter, we don't deal with imaginary numbers. If it's an even root and a negative radicand like this, then we just write no answers or no real answers. All right, let's try one more. Okay, again, I'm going to go to my calculator. I'm going to do my square root key right here. Oops, I got to quit first. I'm going to do square root of, what was it, 0.36, I think. Okay, and so I do get an answer there, and that makes sense because it's even and positive. But the one thing is our calculator only tells us the positive answer. So this is going to be, I think, multiple choice on the test. And you got to remember that there's 2 answers here because it's even root and positive radicand, so that should be 2 answers. All right, simplifying. This is a huge skill. If you know how to do this, it's going to be rough tomorrow on the test. Pause the video, give it a shot. All right, so the approach is you make a perfect third root part and a leftover non-perfect, and you're going to split. So for 48, right, we wanted to split into 2 numbers, one of which is a perfect cube and one of which isn't. So you have your list of cubes, hopefully, right? Have that little chart in front of you. 2 cubed, 3 cubed, 4 cubed. And so on this one, I think 8 is going to be the only one that works. So we're going to put 8 in the perfect, 6 in the leftover. All right, and then for the exponents, you want the exponents to be divisible by 3. So B is actually in good shape because it's already divisible by 3, so we can leave it in the perfect. But for A, it's not divisible by 3. 16 is not divisible by 3. So we're going to split it much like we split up the 8 and the 6. All right, and we want to split into A's that add up to 16. So 15 and 1, 14 and 2, right? These are exponent rules that if I was to multiply like a to the 14th times a squared, I would get a to the 16th, right? So a to the 13th, a to the 12th, a to the 3rd. Obviously, there's a lot of possibilities, but I go backwards from 16 until I find the first one that is divisible by 3. So going backwards, 15, 14, 13, the first one that works is 15. So I'm going to put 15 A's here, which means there's only 1 A in the back. Now clean up our perfect part. So the cube root of 8 is 2, and then divide these evenly. So we get a to the 5th b cubed. And we've got our leftover third root of 6a. Right, and that should give us, let's see, looks like my letter A is going to be right for that one. All right, a division question, right? So if you have to rationalize the denominator, it'll say that. This is just a straight division. Pause the video and give it a shot. All right, so the right thing on division, if it doesn't say rationalize the denominator, is make it into 1 check mark first, and then see if that helps us. And in this case, it does tremendously because we can divide 108 by 2 to get 54 over 1, which I'm not even going to write. And then if you notice our answers here, it doesn't match an answer because we got to simplify. So we got to do just like we did on the previous questions, do perfect and non-perfect. For 54, the perfect root number is 27. It's a perfect cube, and that divides 54 evenly. So 27 and 2. And then the cube root of 27 is just 3. So you have 3 and then third root of 2. And be careful because students oftentimes will get C here, but it should be third root of 2, right? This is a third root problem, so C doesn't make any sense. D is the right answer. All right. This one is one where students either get it and it's easy, or they're not sure how to do it and they freeze and they just panic. So take a minute, try and think through how do you start this question, um, and then unpause the video. Okay, so the deal is these are not the same radical, so we can't currently add or subtract them. But if you were simplifying just 28 by itself, you could break it into the perfect square 4 times the non-perfect part 7. Okay, and if you do that for all of them, right, so the middle one, you can take out 25. 25 is a perfect square. And then the last one, 9 is a perfect square that divides it. I'm using my little chart. Right, then you'll see these are all now radical 7s. Right, so we have 2 radical 7. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 9 is 3. And then we're good. So this one will actually come out to be 0. 2 minus 5 is negative 3, plus 3 is 0. So we get 0 radical 7, which is technically just 0. Right, so that's a little weird one. But yeah, there's our answer. Okay, so this is getting towards, I think this is 6.4 section. And these are the really hard ones where you've got to use your exponent rules. And the only hint I'll give you here before you start is if you get stuck, switch forms, right? So remember, like a to the 2/3, we can switch that into a root of 3 and a power of 2. And oftentimes that'll help on these questions, right? So give this one a shot. All right, so at the start, there's no way to combine them because they have different bases. But the key is to remember that if I try switching forms, I would do a third root of 10 to the first times a third root of 100 to the first. These are our powers, these are our roots. All right, and then the to the first power doesn't do anything. So we really have like 2/3 roots, and it's 10 and 100. So I'm going to multiply those to get 1,000. All right, and then the third root of 1,000, you can just do this on your calculator, but I think that comes out to be exactly 10. All right, so our answer here, as strange as it seems, this whole statement simplifies to 10. Please note you could also type this whole thing in. If you don't have X in the question, one handy trick is you could type it in just to verify. So I could do 10 hat thing 1 divided by 3 times 100 hat thing 1 divided by 3. Okay, and verify that it does indeed equal 10. All right, moving on along. Another one like that with your exponent rules. All right, much like the previous question, I can't combine these, right? Like if they were both third root, so like if I had a third root of 8 times a third root of 2, those you can mash together to third root of 16 because they're both third roots. Here it's a third and fourth root, right? So we can't combine them like we normally do. So let's switch the forms. So we can write 6 power of 1 root of 4, and then 6 power of 1 root of 3, right? These both have little invisible first powers. All right, and now when you have the same base multiplied together, you add the exponents. So one of the really hard things is students think you'll get like 36, but our answer really is just a base of 6, and you add together 1/4 and 1/3. All right, and so to do that, you need a common denominator. So I'll do that down here: 1/4 plus 1/3. Multiply the first one by 3, top and bottom. Second one by 4. So our first fraction becomes 3/12. Our second fraction becomes 4/12. And add those together to get 7/12. So our answer is going to be 6 to the 7/12. Okay, and then if we switch it to the other form, that would be a power of 7 and a root of 12. So it's going to be, looks like C is going to be our best answer. All right, and that's a pretty tricky question. And usually I get asked, like, you know, how come this isn't a 36? And the best I can give you is if I do a simpler example quick. Say x squared times x cubed. No, let's do let's do 6 squared times 6 cubed, right? 6 squared looks like that, and 6 cubed looks like that. So altogether you have 6 multiplied 5 times, so it should be 6 to the 5th. It's not 36 to the 5th, right? It's just 6 5 times. So that's the best answer I can give you, is think about it without the fractions. All right, next one, give it a shot. Since it doesn't have x, you can certainly use a calculator. So I'm going to do 16 hat thing negative 1.5. All right, and so you get a crazy decimal. And if you look at our answer choices, they want a fraction. So you could divide these fractions to figure out which one matches that decimal. Or you could just hit math on here and go to, let's see, number 1 is fraction. So that'll take my previous answer, turn it into a fraction. So it looks like 1/64. It's going to be our right answer. All right, maybe one last one. I guess I'll give you a hint. I think on the test, this will say rationalize the denominator. So it is a simplify one, but rationalize the denominator. Okay, so since we have a third root, I want to do 2 more third roots on the top and bottom. Multiply top and bottom by the same thing, same third root. And we're going to do 2. All right, and the reason being, that's going to make our denominator clean up really nice, because we'll have a third root of 2 cubed, or third root of 8, and that's just going to be 2. So that's the whole point, is it wipes out the radical that gives us just 2. And then up top, multiply all these third roots. We get 1 third root of 3 times 2, which is 6, times 2, which is 12. All right, and then we could see, like, is there any perfect cubes that divide 12? But the only one that's less than 12 is 8, and it does not divide it evenly. So we are done right here, giving us answer choice C. All right, so you can review this video and the one from yesterday. Get ready for that test. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.